Item number 4 is to consider approving Building Department Ordinance 008D. Code adoption. This is the second reading of an ordinance for the updating of all building and construction codes in place in Mesa County. 8 codes in all. The county building codes currently adopted are 2018 additions. The proposed ordinance will provide for adoption of the current additions, which is necessary to keep up with more modern construction methods, materials, techniques, and state requirements. We have Darrell Bay, our Chief Building Inspector. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm Darrell Bay, building official with the Mesa County Building Department. The item brought before the board this morning for consideration is the final amendments and adoption of the proposed Mesa County Ordinance 008D and Exhibit A. The proposed ordinance is replacement of the existing Ordinance 008C. This ordinance serves as the building code for the Mesa County and is adopted pursuant to the board's authority under Colorado Revised Statute 30-28-201 to adopt a building code for the county. The proposed ordinance 008D and Exhibit A, which is the fee structure to be used by the building department when applying the ordinance, was posted in the newspaper in its entirety on February 1st, 2025, and read before this board at the public hearing on February 11th, 2025, as required. The full text of the ordinance at the proposed ordinance 008D and Exhibit A has been posted as part of the agenda in today's items for the meeting and is part of today's record. The notice of today's meeting was posted in the newspaper on February 15th, 2025, along with the county's website, where people were encouraged to contact the board or the building department with questions or concern or to attend today's meeting. I was contacted by just a couple of people, and their concerns were over water, and it was Ute water, and the energy code. We sponsor annual classes. This year, the classes will be going over the changes of the codes. The building community is encouraged to attend these classes to help understand the changes, and many do. We have gone over the code changes and amendments with the Building Department Advisory Committee. The few questions they have already been addressed. We have been working with the city of Fruita so that the codes will be the same throughout Mesa County. We have worked with the Grand Junction Fire Department and have talked with Lower Valley Fire Department, and there seems to be no issues with them with their fire codes. I have sent copies of the first reading to the city of Grand Junction and notify the other jurisdictions that Mesa County provides inspection services for that I will be sending them copies of the code adoption after today's meeting so that they can have it adopted in time for it to go into effect by September 1st. Between all the codes being adopted, there are around 600 significant changes in the newer codes. This number may seem extremely high, but it's important to understand that the majority of the codes are reorganizations of the codes, clarifications, allowed uses of the new construction methods and materials. Changes don't always mean more restrictions, cost. In fact, some of the changes in the newer codes will make compliance simpler, which will likely reduce costs. Our goal with this code changes is to provide as many choices for the users and let them make the decisions as to what best works for their projects. Our office will work with the building community to make the changes between the current and the proposed changes as smooth as possible. We plan to have meetings, provide handouts, and post information on our webpage. One of the questions that was brought forward since the first reading was about the 2024 Energy Code. The codes proposed in this ordinance are minimums. If someone chooses to use a newer code or more restrictive code, that would be up to them, and we would let them as long as they comply with the whole requirements of that code. The other question was from Ute Water, asking if there was going to be major changes in water requirements for sprinkling of buildings. The codes did not make any changes. The big change would be is if people do different types of buildings that require different types of sprinkling systems, or if there's lack of water flow. The one thing I did tell him was about the wildfire resiliency code and sent him a link to their website so that he could stay informed. At this time, I will return Ordinance 008D to the board for final amendments and adoptions. I can now answer any questions that you may have on this item.
Any questions for Darrell?
Not this time.
Okay, I'm gonna open up to public comment and then we'll come bring it back to the board. Is there any public comment on this item? Okay, seeing none, I'll bring it back to the board. Any further comments?
I have none.
Thanks, Darrell, for all your work on this. I think it's really important that we're always looking where we can improve efficiencies and streamline things. And you've really done a great job bringing some great ideas to the board, and we appreciate it. We want to make sure affordable housing is affordable in unincorporated Mesa County and do our part. So I think this gets us there. Thank you.
So this hasn't happened in a vacuum. We've been engaging with the community for quite a while as to these code updates. And one would say, if we're worried about affordable housing, why are we updating both the building codes and the energy codes? Energy codes being the most probably cost drivers, biggest cost drivers. And the answer really is the state of Colorado and the looming threat that new legislation and activity at the state level is occurring. They are currently working on energy codes, low carbon energy codes that once those are passed, any modification to a building code or energy code, you are forced to adopt those codes. So we were kind of getting in before that occurs, updating all of our codes and making sure that we are not forced, at least today, to adopt those, in some places, draconian energy code mandates, which would cost a lot to any type of new housing, which has a drop effect for the entire community, forcing home prices and even commercial prices way up. So Darrell, commend you on this work. It's forward thinking. It's what I feel, and I think a lot of people feel it's in the best interest of this community today. So appreciate all your work on this. And no further comments. I will entertain a motion to approve the item as entered into the record.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0.